Good morning. Welcome back to Mae Sot, Thailand. It's another cold morning here, Friday morning. And we're heading into a bit of a traffic snarl here. Who's gonna go? We're all gonna go. It's cold enough, to be honest, that if I had a jacket, I'd probably be wearing it, but I don't have a jacket. So here I am in my red t-shirt as always. I have a bit of a day trip planned for today. I'm heading to a national park. It's about 55 kilometers outside of Mae Sot on the road to Tak. So we're heading up into the nearby mountains a little bit. I've never gone in this direction before, so that should be interesting. The park is called Taksin National Park. No, Taksin Maharat National Park. I don't know what that means. The park has a few interesting things to go look at. From what I read online, they have what they call the oldest tree, the biggest tree in Thailand. It's a krabak tree. It's 700 years old, maybe 50 meters high. It's about 160 feet, something like that. The interesting thing, though, is I did a little bit of reading, a bit of Google searching about this, and apparently there are a number of trees in Thailand that all claim to be the largest tree in Thailand. So whether this krabak tree really is the biggest tree or not, we're not entirely sure. And that's kind of understandable, because how do you measure a tree exactly? Trees can be the tallest, the widest, the biggest in circumference at the trunk, biggest root structure, biggest by volume, if you can even calculate that. You know, exactly how do you calculate which tree, how do you calculate the size of a tree, really? And you have to know how big a tree is to begin with before you can decide which one is the biggest. But obviously, it doesn't matter at all, because we know this is going to be a very big tree no matter what, whether it's the biggest or not, and it makes for a very good destination for a day trip. As always, I would go to this national park by some small countryside roads if it were possible. But from whatever I can tell from Google Maps, it's not possible. There's only one way to get to this place, and that's along the AH1 highway, which is the main highway leading from Mae Sot into basically into the interior of Thailand. I often comment that someone like me from Canada, I'm used to the cold, so cold weather doesn't bother me. And that is true. I love cold weather. But this is cold. I guess it's different whether you're walking or on a scooter, because driving on this scooter in this cold weather this morning, I can really feel it on my arms. Mae Sot is kind of a small city, so we're already leaving the city limits, as you can tell. There's the city gate up ahead of me. And in a minute or two, I should arrive at this big roundabout. And on the other side of the roundabout, the AH1 highway begins. I just stopped at the side of the highway for a minute just to do a map check and check over the scooter just before I leave Mae Sot for the day. Wanted to make sure everything is in order and none of my GoPros are gonna fall off or anything like that. Oddly enough, when I woke up this morning, I had no internet at all, like no Wi-Fi, like at the guest house, the Wi-Fi was down. I have data on my phone, but for whatever reason, that was down as well. It's such a weird feeling to have no internet at all. You get so used to it, and you wake up in the morning and there's like nothing at all. You cannot get online at all. Kind of tells me how dependent I am on the internet these days. When it disappears, it feels like a major thing happening. Anyway, the park, as I said, is called Taksin Maharat National Park. It's about 51 kilometers away. I'm planning just to go there, go look at the tree. They also have a cave with interesting stalagmites and stalactites. And there is a stone bridge, which is supposed to be quite interesting. And of course, I'm sure, since it's a national park, there would be a lot of trails you can walk along and things like that. I'm planning, as I said, just to go there and come back again, but I did pack so that if I wanted to stay for one night or 2 nights, I could do that. I don't have camping equipment with me, but I could stay in a hotel. I just brought stuff with me just in case I stay overnight. But right now the plan is not to stay overnight, but we'll see how things go. As I said, this highway goes into the mountains, goes up and over the mountains down to Tak. Then it continues on to Sukhothai. And my plan for this month was to go to Sukhothai, the historic city. But because of the lockdown, I don't think it's even possible. I know I can't go to Chiang Mai province because I'd have to go into like 14-day quarantine to go from Tak province into Chiang Mai province. And I think I'd have to get special permission to even leave Tak province. And I can't do that anyway. I'm not so sure about Sukhothai, whether they have a 14-day quarantine. But no matter what, it's just this month, January of 2021, is a complete write-off as well in terms of all the lockdowns and everything. Everything is just a lockdown again for most of January, I think. Things may change in February, but we'll see. Speaking of restrictions and lockdowns, I don't know whether I will run into anything special on this highway or not. They're quite concerned about people crossing the border from Myanmar and then traveling into the interior of Thailand. So there might be special checkpoints along this highway, health screenings, identity checks, things like that. I don't really know. We'll find out as I drive along. As I said, it is cold. This Canadian is actually kind of cold this morning. So strange. It's also really strange to be on such a relatively large highway system. All of my scooter travels lately has been on small country roads around Mae Sot. There's no real traffic surrounding me, but just the size of the road feels really strange. As I said, if there were a country road option, I would take it, but there isn't one. Talking about being cold, the funny thing is that since we're going into the mountains, we're going to be going up in altitude, so it's actually going to be a lot colder where I'm going. So if I do stay there overnight, I'm definitely not prepared for it. I don't have anything warm to wear. I'm also not very sure what is located along the road here. I know that I saw one tourist attraction. There's something up ahead called the Magnetic Hill. It's kind of funny that everywhere in the world, no matter where you go, you always run into a magnetic hill. Every country has them. Every province has them. It's just sort of inevitable, I guess. But it's one of those places where just the perspective of the land makes it look like the road is going downhill when it's really uphill, or vice versa. So it looks like if you put something on the road, for example, it gives the illusion that it is rolling uphill, like the gravity has been reversed. I just saw a sign for some kind of checkpoint, but it was all written in Thai, so I don't know what it said. But we'll see. Can I make it through the checkpoint? Hello. To a Taksin Maharat.
Where are you come from?
My country? Canada. From Canada. But I stay in Mae Sot.
Where are you going?
Today to Taksin Maharat Park. I go to the park, come back to Mae Sot.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, that was a very friendly process. I was trying to anticipate the man's questions about exactly what information he was trying to get from me. And of course I wanted to give answers that caused the least amount of trouble for me. But he wanted to know where I was from. And the funny thing is that in the past, the answer Canada is usually a good answer because you're dealing with immigration and security concerns or criminal behavior concerns. And to say that you're from Canada, it kind of means that you're a trustworthy sort of person. You don't come under a lot of suspicion. But now, of course, with the pandemic, being from Canada or the United States or Western Europe is actually not a good thing. It actually makes you a bit more of a risky person. So the magic answer of Canada is not such a magic answer anymore. But he asked where I was from. I said Canada, and then he wanted to know where I was going, and I wanted to establish that I'm not trying to leave the province. I'm only going to the national park, and then I'm coming back to Mae Sot. So that's what I tried to tell him. And then after those 2 or 3 questions, he just laughed in a very good-natured way and said, yeah, go ahead. You know, he just stood by and said, continue. And the way he was laughing, it was pretty clear that all of his questions, he was really just having fun with using English. It was like a fun experience for him to talk to me in English and demonstrate to his coworkers that he could ask questions in English and understand the answers. So it wasn't really a very serious procedure. I've heard a lot about this road from a lot of people talking about how steep it can be and how windy it is. It has a bit of a legendary status for that reason. But I have wondered how much of those stories are real or not. Because everything in this world, of course, depends on your perspective. If you come to a country like Thailand for the first time, a lot of things might strike you as really amazing. But for someone like me that's been here a few times and been to similar countries quite a few times, a lot of the same things wouldn't strike me the same way. And I think it's the same thing when it comes to a road. You might drive down a road and think it's like one of the most dangerous roads you've ever been on in your life. But if you've had different experiences in your lifetime, maybe that same road seems quite normal to you. And it might depend on how you drive as well. I'm definitely in grandma driving mode this morning, even more than usual, just because, well, I like to go slow. I'm more of a cyclist than anything else, and I like to be able to go slowly so I can look around me and take in my surroundings. Being on a scooter, you have to pay so much attention to the road, and you don't have as much opportunity to look at your surroundings. Oh, here's the magic hill. Oh, it's 500 meters ahead. So we'll have to see what it looks like to me. Because magic hills can feel different in different countries. Like they have more extreme effects depending on the magic hill. Because right now we're going uphill, and it very clearly is steep and uphill. So we'll have to see whether the magic hill really feels magical or not. So here we go. Still looks like we're going uphill. Oh yeah, if that was it. I can feel it a little bit. It looks like we're going uphill, but it felt a tiny bit there like we were going downhill, but maybe that wasn't it yet. Well, I think that was it. And that wasn't a very impressive magic hill. Maybe you have to stop and roll something on the hill to really get the feeling. But on the scooter, it didn't feel that extreme, the effect. And I think whether a hill feels, or whether a road feels extreme or dangerous or not, it also depends, as like I said, how fast you're driving. And I'm a very slow, methodical sort of driver most of the time. And this morning I'm driving even slower than normal. I think it's because, as I said, I want to take in my surroundings, but also I'm still getting used to this whole idea of having GoPros on the scooter. And it is pretty cold, so my arms are feeling really tense. And it's a brand new road. But one thing, these definitely steep, I can feel it. The incline here is very, very steep. So if you are on a bike touring, I can see this being a bit of a workout. the day's small adventures are moving along. I'm about 8 kilometers away from the national park, as far as I can tell, and happened upon a nice roadside stop where apparently I can get a hot cappuccino. So I'm breaking from tradition because it's been such a cold morning. Instead of getting an iced cappuccino, I went for the hot cappuccino, and they're busy preparing it right now. Yeah, it's a nice spot here. Bit of a lookout point, as you can see. And then, oh, I guess this is my cappuccino coming here. Thank you. So, yeah, guy came right out and brought me my cappuccino. So I'm going to sit down and enjoy that. As I was saying, it's a nice lookout spot here. The road has been very fun to drive along. As you can see, just over there, a lot of steep climbs going up and down. Not terribly difficult on the scooter, though. And here's the coffee shop over here. I like that door over there. They have a lot of stickers, probably from all the people that drive by on motorcycles or on trips around Thailand. Everybody gets to leave a sticker. And they got a big parking lot out here. Not a lot of people here, of course. Just one group, one car. Oh, so let's go find a seat. Ooh. I didn't notice till just now, but the cup has a little paper handle. Comes right out because I was holding on to it and it was really hot on my fingers. But has a little handle built in. Oh, that's nice. When I woke up this morning back at the guest house, I did have a cup of instant coffee in my room, as always. But by this time in the morning, I've usually had a second or even a third cup of coffee. So this is very nice. Not much to report from the trip here, to be honest. I went through 2 checkpoints in total. And the first one, there was just some conversation about where I'm from, where I'm going. And I was never quite clear if they understood where I was going. I kept saying, Taksin Maharat National Park. And then I would look in their face to see if there's any kind of recognition, like, oh, tourist, you're going there on a, I was waiting for something to click in their eyes to make it look like they understood what I was saying, but I never did see anything. So I ended up saying Taksin Maharat National Park several times, but I never did get any kind of a response. And the second place was not that far away from here. It was another, a pretty major checkpoint. Everybody had to stop there, every car, every truck. Though as I approached it, there was a division, like there was lots of signs and arrows saying, if you're this kind of person, go here, this kind of person, go that way or something. And I wasn't sure whether a scooter should go in with all the big trucks. So I kind of went to the left thinking that maybe they wouldn't even want to talk to me. Maybe it was a truck checkpoint or something. So I kind of went along the left-hand lane and I thought I could just sort of just keep going. And if they wanted me to stop, they would, yell at me or something. But I didn't do that. I just sort of slowed down when I got to the front. And in fact, all these big trucks were blocking me from the guards, from the police. So I could have just kept driving, and I don't think anyone would even have seen me. But I decided to wait, so I waited there. And then there were 2 or 3 big trucks. And then when the big trucks pulled ahead, and they pulled out of the way, then the police could see me, and they reacted pretty dramatically when they saw me. It was like, oh, they was, hey, there's someone we should check up on. And a guy came over, and he did talk to me. Where am I from? Where am I going? And again, I said the name of the park where I'm going, and I was looking for any sense of recognition from him, but there was nothing. He didn't seem to react in any way. So I don't think he really knew what I said or about where I was going. But then he did ask to see my passport. So to do that, I had to kind of rummage around in my bag and take my helmet off. So he indicated that I should pull my scooter over to the side of the road. So we did that. I turned off the engine and put it on its kickstand and got out my passport. And by then he'd called over a senior officer of some kind. And this senior guy took my passport and flipped through it, looked to see that my visa was current, was not expired or anything. And after that, yeah, they just sent me on my way. And it looks like when I go back to Mae Sot, I'll have to go through both of those checkpoints again. And it looked like they were checking people's identities on the way to Mae Sot as well. So I'll probably have to show my passport again on my way back. Oh man, that sun feels so good. Nice and warm on my face. Of course, once it gets super hot, I'll probably think back to the cold morning with, oh, I wish it was nice and cold again. One cool thing when I stopped here is these two dogs, a brown one and a black one, came trotting up to me. I parked my scooter and these two dogs came from this area behind me and they came running up to me and they were actually whining, which I don't hear very often, but they were both kind of whining a little bit, giving a little and they came right up to me and I thought maybe they were asking for food or something, but they really just wanted affection and they crowded up to me and I was petting both of them and they were both very friendly. There they are over there. Oh, the brown one just went behind the car, and there's the black one. But those two dogs seem to serve as sort of a welcoming committee for this rest stop. I passed 2 or 3 other places that were indicated by signs as, rest stops. I think they called them picnic areas. And I probably would have stopped there as well, but there was nothing there. I mean, there were no tables. When I see picnic area, I usually expect a picnic table, kind of like where I'm sitting now. But these other places, they didn't have any tables, any like benches, nothing at all. It was just kind of a wide section of the road. And then I guess you could pull over in your car. That's what it was designed for, but it wasn't really a picnic area or anything like that. So this is the first time that I've stopped. Oh, that is so nice. Oh, my skin is just delighted to have that sun beating down on it. Feels so good. It's been a while since I've had that extreme in temperature change from being that cold to being this sunny and warm. It's generally just been warm or hot all the time. Haven't had cold temperatures like this for a long, long time that I can remember. And on the positive side, all this cold temperature means my GoPros haven't been shutting down, which is nice. They haven't been overheating. So it's been a nice change. I like this sign. Entrance to Super Viewpoint. And that's where I was. That's the regular viewpoint, I think. So it just made me wonder whether there was another spot that had a super view as opposed to the normal view. But I'm not sure. Whew. That was a steep incline, that's for sure. That coffee was so good that I'm going to have number 2. Feeling greedy this morning. He's not quite ready to be on the road again. I'm gonna relax here a little bit longer. Oh, there's my two buddies over there in the shade. Shall we say hi to them for a second? Hi. Hello. Hi. Do you want to come over and say hello? Hey. It's funny how they all get a little bit jealous. These are obviously really good friends. They probably had puppies together. This is would be the dad and the mom over here. But as soon as I stopped here, this big brown guy kind of blocked the way of the girl because he wants all the attention. He's got a big head, this guy. No, oh, they're both so cute. Look at them. Hey, you're almost like puppies, aren't you? Yeah. Oh yes. Hello. So that's the welcoming committee for the coffee shop. And they have a big tourism map here, which is kind of nice. A lot of English labels on it too. Don't think I've seen this particular map before. It doesn't have a "you are here" mark, but we are somewhere around here. This is the national park where I'm going to, Taksin Maharat National Park. Mae Sot is over here, and this is the highway that goes to Tak. Here it's labeled as 105, but as far as I know, it's actually AH1. And there's the mysterious hill, which is actually, they call it the magnetic hill on the road. That's what the sign said. So that's as far as we're going, Taksin, and then either today back to Mae Sot, or if I can find a place to stay, I'll stay overnight in that area. And the other thing, like near Taksin Maharat Park, is this, what they call, here they're calling the Hill Tribes Center, which is the Hill Tribes Market that you see on Google Maps. So I imagine I'll stop by there as well at some point. I'm making all kinds of friends here. This big old tomcat came by to say hi too. Funny. Cats are so funny compared to dogs. This cat wanted me to pet him, but he would lay down just out of reach, just far enough to make it uncomfortable for me to reach him. And at any point, he's gonna bite or claw. He gets so excited that his predatory instincts will kick in, and he's gonna latch onto my hand. We have arrived at the entrance to Taksin Maharat National Park. Got here a lot quicker than I expected after my stop for cappuccino. So let's wander in here, see what the entrance looks like. I honestly know nothing about this place or what to expect in terms of going in. I assume there's some sort of an entrance fee, but I don't know if the entrance covers just one day or if you went in to camp overnight, whether you would have to pay more, like pay every day, or yeah, I don't know anything. Nice to get off the highway though. Nice quiet road here. And when I look at Google Maps, they list camping spots inside the park, but I don't know how much it costs to stay in them. I don't have camping equipment with me anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. But it also lists some cottages, like places you can rent, and I don't know if those are open, whether they're available, or how much they cost. I couldn't find out any of that information online. And there seem to be a couple of small towns nearby, and when you look at them on Google Maps, you see a couple of lodgings listed, but again, there's no information about them, so I don't know whether they're open, whether they exist, how much they would cost either. So consider this something of a reconnaissance mission. Okay, entrance fee, 100 meters. Rabak Yai tree, no dogs or cats. COVID-19 screening point. Let's see what's going on here. Hi, do you want to come over and say hello? Hey? It's funny how they all get a little bit jealous. He's got a big head, this guy. No, oh, they're both so cute. Look at them. Hey, you're almost like puppies, aren't you? Yeah? Oh, yes. Hello. I'm making all kinds of friends here. This big old tomcat came by to say hi, too. Wow. And you know, at any point, he's going to bite or claw. He gets so excited that his predatory instincts will kick in, and you know he's going to latch onto my hand.